Hopefully. The do's and don'ts of crowdfunding. Lessons learned from successful campaigns. Hello, everyone. Tessa with IdeaPros. I'm the marketing director at IdeaPros, and I have a really awesome guest speaker for you guys today. Some of you already may know because we had this guest, this really experienced guest on our Insider Circle, which is a meeting for all of our partners internally. She is a television producer and top 100 crowdfunding expert, and I'm just keeping you all in suspense at the moment. Her name is Dr. Wright. Hello, Dr. Wright. How are you?
Hello. Hi. Hello. Thank you for having me back, Tessa.
Yes, I'm so excited. Well, and I know we were just talking about this right before the show. We are going to have to split this into a two-part because you just have so much knowledge. I mean, top 100 crowdfunding expert. I don't think I mean, I've never been in the presence of somebody who's had a successful or been around that. And I know you've done a lot, and you really did this, like you got knee deep in these campaigns to learn how to do this. So do you mind giving just a little quick background of how you got into this? I mean, in the TV producer side is a whole nother side of Dr. Wright that one has to be part 3 because
Yes,
she has that too. And I'm going to definitely get Fred on a TV show for sure. But
that, we have got to get Fred his own show and in his own channel. We still got to talk about that.
Yes,
but
yes.
I started off in crowdfunding back in 2010 before President Obama actually signed it into law. And we were going through a recession back then, and money was hard for entrepreneurs to get. And I actually started helping 2 different sets of friends fund a film using crowdfunding. And crowdfunding is so close to how we are taught to fund independent films that at the time I just thought, oh, we're just funding an independent film. And they thought that I was like really good at social media because I was a very early adopter in Twitter and everything. And they were like, help us, and da-da-da. And I was like, okay, cool, we'll do that.
And you were an influencer. You already had an audience of people
I already
at that point.
Yeah, I already had like 40,000 people on Twitter. I was just like, this is 2010. I was like really, doing my thing, and so I didn't realize we were crowdfunding, and I kept hearing the word, but I just thought, oh, we're just we're funding a film. That's what I'm doing. And so my name was getting passed around that I was really good at helping them fund films, raise 30,000, raise 50,000. That was all good. And then I watched a friend. What he did is he crowdfunded a book. It was called A Pug Named Fender. And he just did a really good job. But I got to watch him up close and personal do this crowdfunding. And the idea, ping, 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 the light bulb. And I realized, oh, this is a way for business owners, entrepreneurs, to be able to fund their businesses. This is how we can get money when banks aren't going to fund us. This is how we can connect to not only VCs and angel investors, but grandma who just has $100 to give you, who wants to support you, can also invest in you. And we have all this range of people who want to support you financially in your business are now able to do this. And it clicked. It just clicked for me that entrepreneurs, business owners at every range, whether they're just starting, whether your business has been going for a while, can use this as a funding vehicle for their business. You don't have to be broke and struggling and everything to do this. You can crowdfund a new product branch of what you're doing. You're doing toothpaste and you want to come out with a different flavor toothpaste. You can crowdfund it to see if it's going to be, successful before you put all the money into it and do something else. You can do it as a startup. You can do it as an idea. You can do it at different stages of your business. And it's a great way to fund your business. So that's how I got started. President Obama, signed regulation crowdfunding into law, and then boom, we were really off to the races. And so I've watched crowdfunding since 2010 change and morph and really become something real. The way all of the coins, Bitcoin and every other coin is funded is by using crowdfunding strategies. Now, they don't say they're crowdfunding, but they're using crowdfunding strategies as their financial base when they're bringing in money for these different coins. So, people are just like missing out on the crowdfunding aspect of it. It doesn't mean that you cannot do SBA loans and you
Oh, I was
can't
gonna
do
say.
everything else. You can do that with crowdfunding. Crowdfunding does not preclude you using any other type of funding, but it's a tool that you should know about. You can use anytime you want to. You can use it over and over again. And so it's just a tool that you need to know about so that you can use it when it works for you.
And there's different types of crowdfunding. So if you don't mind, just kind of go as a high level of the different types of crowdfunding and a new type of, and we're not even going to get to that yet. So tell us first the types.
So there's charity crowdfunding, which you guys have all seen people crowdfunding for their local charity. And charity crowdfunding, the techniques that you're going to use for a charity, for a nonprofit, if any of you guys that are listening that are nonprofits, and you could identify yourself in the comments if you want.
Mm-hmm.
The strategies that you're going to use are a little bit different than business crowdfunding strategies because you have some different things that you can use that actually work. And I'm just looking over here at some.
Yeah, I think it would probably be mostly business, I would imagine. And when you say charity, that just means it's going to go to a nonprofit. Okay. So I would say everyone, and raise your hands, everyone in the chat. I mean, you want the profit. I think it's normally
in here. I will
for profit.
Mostly for business. Then on the business side, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to really address private, personal. I'm raising money for, my house burned down, my kids going to college. I don't do any of that because I cannot verify people's personal issues. I've had people come to me with this is a guy came to me once and he's like, I'm raising money for my wife. She's dying. She is this. And here's her x-rays. Well, you guys forget, Dr. Wright is an actual physician. I can use x-rays. You can show me an x-ray of a perfectly healthy person. And I said, honey, your wife may be dying. I do not know. I cannot verify that. But the x-ray that you're showing is a healthy person.
Oh, wow.
So,
scary, but true.
Then I just said, you know what? I can't verify that somebody's not scamming me. So I'm going to stay away from the personal. The business stuff I can verify. I can verify if your business is registered. If, you can show me bank things. I can check, I can check with those things. I can't check your personal stuff. So
right. So we're assuming it's business and that it's a legitimate business that you're funding, obviously.
So in business, we have what's called pre-sale, a pre-sale type of crowdfunding, which is like Kickstarter, which is I want to make 1,000 of these bottles. This is that
That's
actual
cute.
This is an actual client product too, by the way. I want to make 1,000 of these bottles, and I'm going to pre-sell them. So I'm going to sell this to you, and then after I sell 100, I'm going to make them, because now I have money for all 100. Then I'm going to make them later and ship them to you. So you won't get them instantly. It's a pre-sale. Then there's another type of crowdfunding where you can buy shares of my company. So I say, Tessa, my company makes these and they sell out. You want to buy shares of my company, girl? They're $10 a share and you have to buy 10 shares. So I got to get $100 from you. You want to buy a share?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so she buys a share, and as my company grows and makes money, at the end of the year, she gets her dividends or she gets her payout along with everybody else. And so those are the two types of crowdfunding that you can do with your company. There also is what they used to call crowdfunded loans. Those were going good for a while, but most of the crowdfunded loan companies are just loan companies now. I'm not finding a lot of peer funded loans anymore. So just be very careful if you come across a company that says that they are peer loans. I'm finding that those companies are really just regular loan companies.
Gotcha. Awesome. So we have these types, and then there's something new that's come out recently, and it's fund building. Can you tell us what fund building is?
So I've been seeing this term fund building. I don't know if you've been seeing it, but I've been seeing it. And I just thought it was very interesting. So did a little digging around. Fund building is just crowdfunding. But what it
You
is
just
that
named it different.
yes, exactly. Fund building is just crowdfunding. So what it is that there is a little bit of a, in some circles, there's a negative connotation to crowdfunding. And if you find that you are in a tribe that has a little bit of a bad taste of crowdfunding in their mouth, for whatever reason, we don't want to spend time fighting the fire. If you find that when you mention crowdfunding, people are wrinkling their nose or they're trying to act, you might want to call it fund building. I saw this guy, he's like, I'm fund building my blog. You mean you're crowdfunding your blog?
You're raising funds is essentially.
Okay. So if you find that people are not giving you love with the word crowdfunding, you could substitute fund building, and you're still crowdfunding, but maybe that people will be more receptive to you, but you don't have to be confused about it. It's crowdfunding.
It's crowdfunding. I love that. Well, thank you for dispelling that myth, because I know I saw that after you had mentioned it. Then I started seeing it, of course, because I was looking into it. I'm like, wow, okay, this might be a new thing.
Yes.
Right.
Operating system, your brain works.
Yes. Well, and the funny thing is, well, I get a lot of questions. We have products and apps typically that we work with at IdeaPros. A lot of you know that's what we do, is help people bring their products and apps to life. But I get that question, well, is my product or app a good fit for a crowdfunding? Is there certain products or certain apps or certain businesses in general that you think are going to do better in a crowdfunding environment than others?
I think that a product or an app that has a lot of great visibility. In other words, your pictures of it look great. You can really visibly show. You can make a great 2.5 minute video. 2.5 minutes. If you need 5 minutes, wonk wonk. That's a no.
2.5 minutes is the magic number. Okay.
Magic number. Now, the only people who can get away with making long videos are filmmakers, because
they have a trailer.
Right. If you're not a filmmaker, anybody else in here who's a filmmaker, you can get away with a longer video because your video is probably very, very high quality. For the most part, there are always exceptions to the rule. I have seen people raising money for a film and their little video was like blurry or the sound was messed up. You're a filmmaker.
Like, it's probably not going to happen for you.
Okay.
Well, I know we do have. We have someone, actually, Dr. Clarice, who's in our audience. She will definitely be talking to you about TV production and everything. So I know she's like, hey, I'm here. I know Dr. Clarice. I'm going to make sure to introduce you, and we'll talk more at the end too, to kind of go into that and how that. Maybe if you have a question, Dr. Clarice, you can put it in the chat too. But I mean, let's say we have a product or an app with good fit photos, because we're assuming that IdeaPros, we come up with amazing quality content. So if you don't have your product, we actually create it in a digital world. So we have created ice cream in a digital world, guys, and it looks amazing and tasty. So Island Ice Cream, I think but let's say we have great assets, and then there's these, I know there's a whole aspect of crowdfunding that we're going to talk about, how to build a campaign. Those are going to be in a separate show for you guys, because I have all those questions too. What should I be offering? How do I do this? What pricing and all that? So we're definitely going to cover all of that before we go today. I just want to make sure that we maybe find out some of the misconceptions of crowdfunding, or common mistakes that people run into. That way, when we do get building our campaign, we're educated. So you have any of those you could share with us?
Absolutely. So the biggest mistake, a misconception with crowdfunding, fund building, is that you're going to crowdfund and you're going to find your tribe. What you want to be doing right now is growing your tribe now, growing your email list, putting people from your phone into an email list where you can email them and talk to them, preparing your tribe. You've got your people from your social media, from your personal cell phone numbers, people that from church, synagogue, temple, wherever, spiritual yoga, whatever, your bike riding club. You've got them all over the hill. You've got to bring them into your barn. And that's where you can contact them. So you begin to create this email list, texting list, if you're that tech savvy, where you can contact these people and let them know what's going on with your program. Begin that now. Grow this list. Hey, would you be interested in being updated about what I'm doing with my XYZ? I see Sage Scheduler up there. Hey, Sage Scheduler is going to be coming out with something soon. Would you like to be updated? Can I put you on my email list? Can I put you on my text messaging list? Get their permission and put them on. Grow that list now.
When I love that.
Crowdfunding, you don't want to start with zero trying to find people. You want to have your tribe of people. They can't be scattered over the hills of Facebook and YouTube and TikTok, and they've got to be in your barn. When they're in your barn, they will multiply all by themselves, and then
I love
hear
that.
the wool, and you can feed yourself, but they will multiply by themselves.
Right? I love that. I just have to say, I have to stress this because a lot of people, they are sitting on their buns right now when they could be building their audience. And partners, I love you. You have the best intentions. You're like, it's not quite there yet. I don't want to get them too excited too early. Sage Scheduler, who we just talked about, Sage Scheduler has, I don't know, 80,000, is it? I know he's going to put it in there, but if you went to Sage Scheduler, he has so many followers. I know we have all these people who are doing it, but then there's a whole big segment of people who are just kind of waiting. And I just have to say that is so true. You cannot do anything selling wise without an audience at all. You can't. So you're not gonna spend the time, the money doing this crowdfunding if you don't have your audience. So number one, you cannot crowdfund your audience. You have to go find your audience and then market to them for crowdfunding. Beautiful.
Raw beauty, start talking to them now, telling them what's going on. Just really begin those relationships right now. So that's the thing. You have to start with your own audience. Number two, the other misconception is, I'm going to get on, Kickstarter, Indiegogo. They're huge. They're going to bring my audience. They do not bring the audience. You got to bring your audience. You've got to bring your audience. Being on a website, a big website, will not save you. Okay. There's no Prince Charming. These websites do have a lot of traffic, but when they're looking at your page, they can't see what's around them. It's not like a street where you come to my house, but you can kind of see the houses next door. No, when you're on the website, all you can see is that page. Right. So you have to bring the traffic. So you have to have a plan for that.
I love it.
That's a big misconception. We're going to bring all the traffic. Yeah. No, they're not. I don't care.
And that's I think a lot of crowdfunding, and I don't know if you have a more modern number for this, but I used to hear that it was like 97% or 90% of crowdfunding campaigns didn't succeed. And I think it's a lot of because people just put their crowdfunding up there and they expected it to magically do something.
Yes. They just because they believed at the websites when the websites say we've got all these people coming and blah blah blah. Kickstarter processes something like $3 million a day. So when you hear that, you're thinking, well, all I gotta do is get on Kickstarter and boom, 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 I've got cash. It makes sense, but it's not how it really is in life. So I think it gets confusing. So that's definitely a misconception. Another misconception is when you see people who feel like they've innovated crowdfunding by combining it with something like an MLM, or you bring 3 people in here and then your thing gets funded, and then they bring 3 people in here and they get funded. While that is, I guess, a thing, you're going away from crowdfunding. If you're not talking about funding your project, you're talking about something else, bringing 3 people or doing this or doing that, you're not getting funded.
Gotcha.
You're focused on the wrong thing.
Okay.
I want you guys to be very, very selective. There are over 4,000 or 5,000 different websites you could be using.
Really? For crowdfunding?
crowd. So don't get caught up in the wrong thing. And they all have their own agenda. So
this is why people consult with you. Actually, someone asked in the chat, does Dr. Wright provide consulting services? Yes, you can reach out to her. And we're going to have a calendar link at the end. So hang tight with me. Don't leave yet. And, she will chat with you because this is such a complex thing. I mean, it really...
Yeah, and you don't want to be on someone else's agenda, not your own agenda. And you want to have your crowdfunding project going in a way that you are explaining what you're doing, not explaining what crowdfunding is to people. That's another kind of obstacle. You get into a thing where people don't understand what crowdfunding is, and you're spending more time explaining crowdfunding than you are explaining your project.
So audience building might be slightly different. You might be targeting people who already like crowdfunding. I know at IdeaPros, we had an employee, a team member who literally had funded, many, 30, 50, 70, I don't know how many he had done, but that was his thing, was like, I'm going to make, and he had the most innovative keyboard and a mouse that was created in crowdfunding. But there are people that love that side. So it may be that you're building an audience. You want the normal audience for your target, obviously your target audience for your product, because they have to like your product, not just the crowdfunding side of it. But there is a base of people and lots of groups out there for crowdfunding, I'm sure, that they can start finding people like this. But just the audience growth, I mean, I know you have so many advice tips for us, and we're coming close to the end. So I wanted to give you guys a chance to ask questions if you want. Again, we're going to have Dr. Wright back for the basics of a campaign, a crowdfunding campaign, and then also talk to her about the TV production side, because that's a side of you we didn't even get to tap into today. But
while you guys get your questions ready,
yes.
I'm going to go ahead and answer Odin's.
Yes, please do.
Regarding the project management scope, how many hours should an entrepreneur dedicate to getting their first campaign up and running? In addition, how much should I plan to spend if I outsource to a VA who specializes? So what you want to do is hours depends upon skill level. What I can do in a couple hours versus what a VA who specializes versus someone who doesn't really know what they're doing, it kind of varies. So I don't know that I can tell you exactly how many hours. But what you want to do is you want to look at planning. The more that you want to raise, the more time and months you want to plan. Basically, if you're planning 50,000, you want to have about 4 to 6 months in planning that. Okay?
Wow.
I don't know how many hours that's going to work out to, but and you're also going to need more of a team than just your VA, because you're going to need somebody who specializes in marketing, somebody who the VAs typically, even if they specialize in crowdfunding, they're probably not good at everything. It's very rare you're going to find somebody who does customer service and marketing and
graphic design and sales.
Like, so finding a VA who specializes in crowdfunding, I'm going to be a little sus. I'm going to be like, you specialize in crowdfunding? Because that's usually just a crowdfunding expert. You know what I mean?
A VA to do it.
Yeah, it's not a VA. So you're going to need somebody I would feel better if you told me I hired a VA who does the graphics. I hired a different VA who does marketing, and I did a different VA for each section that you're doing, because you've got to write emails, you've got to do some customer service things, you've got to do all of these things, and you do need a team, because good Lord, you need a day off too, right?
And it takes a team. It takes a team. I mean, I have 17 contractors, and they all do different things. And that's in my own personal business. In the IdeaPros team, we have even more people. And that's just to make the average tasks for your business. That's not even taking into consideration creating all these cool bundles and knowing what to word for a crowdfunding campaign. I will say, though, that you need the specialist, the person like Dr. Wright, who can say, oh, this is the direction. In her experience, experience with all these things that she has crowdfunded, she can say, oh, that's a black hole. You don't want to go there. Go over here. And maybe with that, pair some team members that can really help you. The big question in my mind, though, and Odin didn't ask this, but kind of he did, how much to spend? How much do you have to plan from a marketing, like ad spend standpoint?
Yes. So you're going to plan it the same way that you would plan any marketing and sales campaign. You're going to be spending about 35 to 40%. If you're trying to raise $100,000, you need to be having a marketing campaign that is about 35 to 40% of that. A lot of people, I've met people countless over the years. I want to raise $100,000 and I've put money into this business. I'm not putting any more money into this business.
I have heard that.
I don't know what to tell you, because this is a seed time and harvest planet. Like, you got to put money into your business if you want to get money out of it. I don't know what to tell you. This is how it works. So
so true.
Yeah, it's very interesting. This woman literally told me that she saw somebody who's raising $1 million and she wants to raise $1 million, and she's going to have her 14-year-old do the video because he's really good with video. And but they don't plan on spending any money, and they're going to raise $1 million. And I'm like, God bless you.
You tell me how that goes for you.
Goes for you. God bless you. This is not the time to have your 14-year-old doing the video. This is the time to really like put your best foot out there. This is your business that is going to turn a profit for you, that is going to grow, that is going to be something. And even if it doesn't turn out the way you think it's going to turn out, it's going to give you such incredible feedback that you now have the intense, exact knowledge that you need to go on to your success.
Beautiful. I love it. Well, we have one more question and then I'll have to let you run. I'm so sorry, guys. So many good ideas, so many good concepts here. So Aziza, who is Raw Beauty Co., she's amazing. This product is off the charts. Amazing, by the way. It's like facial. She has all kinds of things. You'll have to meet Aziza too. Okay. If you're already in the market and you've gone through at least 2 rounds of funding, should you still try crowdfunding?
I think you can still try crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is not like you can't do it if you did this. You can't. That's what I love about crowdfunding. You can do it at any time. Now, you might want to do, if you have investors that might be like, oh, we don't want to be diluted, or they're giving you all of that gruff, then do the pre-sale. Put your product on the market, try different types of product, come out with something else. Like if you have a product you've been wanting to try, maybe you've been wanting to try. I don't know anything about it.
She does. She has so many good products. So Aziza, you should look at it. Maybe one of your new ones.
Yeah. So you have this new thing you want to come out with. You can try it as a pre-sale, because what you can do is that if it works, boom, you've got the cash to put it out. You didn't spend any money from the company. They already paid for it. They paid for it. And now you make it and you put it out, and now you're ready to go. If it doesn't sell, now you know, okay, my audience isn't vibing with it. Either it's just not something that they want, or maybe you didn't market right. I'm going to tell you this Ugg shoe story really quick.
Oh.
When Ugg boots first came out, when they very first came out, they were marketed to soccer moms. Ugg boots, you would look cute. You get in a van, you drive your kids around, you got these cute, comfortable shoes on. But what happened with these moms is that their 16-year-old daughters were putting them on with shorty shorts. And that's who was wearing Ugg boots.
They had the wrong audience.
Right. So Ugg boots had a choice. They could continue to market to the moms, or they could market to the 16-year-olds. What did they do, people?
They went where the money was.
16-year-olds. Now, they're not, moms can wear them, but who are they marketing to? They're marketing to young girls. And so sometimes the packaging is wrong. Sometimes the market is wrong. So when you put it out there, if you crowdfund it and they don't take it, you already have a market. You already have a group. So now you get to figure out, is the package funky? Is the product not what they want? Now you get to figure out like exactly what's wrong and make it work for them. So here's what happens is now you haven't spent money making this stuff, and they don't, you made some goop that they don't want, and now it's sitting in your garage, and now you gotta go to the swap meet and put a different label on it and sell it to somebody else. Like, you
So true.
save yourself. And Aziza, I totally want to hear about what you're doing. I want to hear about all you guys.
Yes. Let me know what the link is to put, if you don't mind putting it.
Yeah. Let me.
If you can probably comment. Yes, you can go ahead and comment your calendar link if you want to book a time. I mean, Dr. Wright's been so helpful to me too. We've had her, like I said, do some presentations. Oh, and I lost her, but she will be back, I'm sure. I will get the link and make sure you guys have it. Thank you, Odin. So glad to have you here. I just want to say, Kelly said she had 90,000 plus. Oh, she's back. Okay. So Kelly, actually, Sage has been building, this is an app, and they have 90,000 plus audience already built up. So maybe, I don't know, Kelly, you'll have to talk with Sean and see if that's something you guys want to try to do. I know it's a little trickier. And
I put the link in the private chat. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I'll grab it and put it in for you.
Okay, because I don't know why I'm not able to put it in the comments.
No, you're totally fine. So there's the link to book. And guys, just, I want to say crowdfunding, we haven't really even gotten into it for most of our partners. I think it's one of those things where you do have to have marketing dollars. But right now, the biggest thing that Dr. Wright said right now that I love, and I think you guys need to get on right now, start building your audience and go be part of some crowdfunding groups. Go find out where people are hanging out that are your people that might fund these things too, because your audience might not be the same people that would do crowdfunding, although a lot of them will if it's enough. There was a chair that I really wanted. It was the most unique chair I've ever seen. You can pretty much do any position in this chair. It was like for the fidgeter ADD person like me. And I still couldn't get myself to buy it because I was still in this mind frame of I'm not going to get it yet. So there is a different type of person who needs to have things then. And the people who are like, okay with that, just will buy and wait, right? So I do think that you can start building your audience right now. Look into, meet with Dr. Wright, see what you need to do so you're ready for when the time comes. Like, even if you're in just the beginning of your idea stage, like do it now so you know what to do at the end. And so Dr. Clarice is in the chat. And like I said, I'm going to introduce you to her so that you guys can talk about the television producing kind of TV shows. But before we go, just super quick, what is it that you can on the TV side, just like a little clip so I can use it for a future show?
Okay. So on the TV side, I've had my own television show since the year 2000, Right Place TV show. So I've been doing TV for quite some time. My show has been broadcast on TV, and I'm still doing TV today. And I love it as a communication device, as a way to grow your business, as a way to really get the exposure that you need. And what I found over the years is that people default to talk shows, and that's kind of the only way they know how to really create a TV show that creates revenue. So what I've been doing in the last few years is that not only do I have my own TV show, but I have my own channel on Roku, Amazon, and Apple TV. So Right Place TV channel is something that you can download as an app and watch. And I develop TV shows and I develop channels for people who really want to begin to not only develop their own content, but really have more control and actually create the revenue. So we do classes on how to create the revenue. We create a show, create your channel, but we also create a show that's really kind of unique and built around what you do so that you can create revenue and not just exposure.
I love it. And we're going to have you back on. Thank you so much for coming today. We appreciate you, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you. All right, everyone. As you know, we're here every Friday at noon Pacific time, just to bring you the best entrepreneurial information that we can, how to do things, how not to do things. So if you want any more information about IdeaPros, of course, IdeaPros.com. We have the whole blog. So it's IdeaPros.com/blog, all of our shows. Afterward, all the videos, all of the great information are all in there, categorized and tagged. So you'll find Dr. Wright under crowdfunding and TV for that matter. So we'll tag her with both. And we're here If you haven't gotten the notifications, you can hit the bell after the show and you'll get notifications when we go live. And in the chat, there is also a notification sign up. So we'll text you when we go live. So we'll see you all next week. Have a blessed week. Bye.